What's the most dominant scoring season you've ever seen from a big man? Was it Shaq bulldozing the league in 2000? Hakeem's footwork in the mid-90s? Or maybe Jokic in recent years with his unstoppable efficiency? All great, but for a stretch of games, Joel Embiid looked like the biggest scoring force since prime Wilt. He was giving teams 33 a night, putting up a 70-point game, and carrying a shaky Sixers roster with one good knee. So how did the man once called the process turn into the most dangerous yet fragile scorer of his generation? Let's rewind to the rise, the peak, the fall, and the fight to save his career. Joel Embiid's path to the NBA didn't look like the usual route for a superstar big. He didn't even touch a basketball until he was 15. Growing up in Yaoundé, Cameroon, he learned by watching DVDs of Hakeem Olajuwon and copying the moves in his backyard until footwork felt natural. 3 years later, he arrived in the United States without speaking a word of English, chasing a dream that sounded impossible on paper. Coaches saw size, coordination, and a late bloomer's hunger. In the 2014 draft, a foot fracture dropped his stock, but Philadelphia still took the swing at third overall behind Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker. Then came silence. The fracture lingered, the rehab stalled, and the timetable stretched. Not one season, lost two. 2 full campaigns in the infirmary, 2 surgeries, 2 years of questions about whether he would ever play an NBA game. Fans waited, the front office stayed patient, and the league moved on. It would have been easy to fade. Then 2016 hit like a sunrise. Debut night against Westbrook's Thunder, 20 points, 7 rebounds in limited minutes. Footwork clean, touch soft, rim protection loud. Philly had its cornerstone. Over the next seasons, he blossomed into a dominant two-way center, bullying in the post, splashing mid-range jumpers, stretching the floor to league average levels for a big, and patrolling the paint with force. By 2023, he had racked up 7 All-Star selections and an MVP with 33.1 points per game. The rare true center to win a scoring crown in the pace and space era. The resume said it plainly. International late starter, rebuilt foot, elite touch. The message to the league was even simpler. The face of the franchise had arrived, and he was built to bend games on both ends when healthy. His learning curve was steep fast. The 2022-2023 season was Embiid at full power. He averaged 33.2 points on about 54% from the field and carved up every coverage team's tried. In the half court, he was a nightmare. Too quick for traditional fives, too strong for switchy wings, too polished to blitz without leaving something open. His favorite spot was the mid-post. Catch, face, one heavy dribble, soft fade. Send help early, and he stepped through. Send it late, and you foul. Put a smaller body on him, and he walked you to the charge circle. Drop your big, and he lived at 12 to 17 feet. 2-man actions with James Harden were a cheat code. Elbow touches, short rolls, pops to the same spots that felt automatic. He could still stretch the floor at about 34% from 3, which forced closeouts and created driving lanes. And when whistles went quiet, he still scored clean with footwork and touch. The Mavs at the line stayed elite. Late games tilted his way because misses were rare. What made that year special was the variety. He didn't need one trick to work. He could bully inside, float the jumper, or pick and pop and punish slow feet. He could anchor defense and turn rebounds into instant advantages. Against rivals like Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, he often won the scoreboard duel, if not every debate segment. Zoom out, and the career numbers back the eye test. 27.7 points, 11 rebounds, 3.7 assists on about 50% shooting. That is not empty volume, that is sustained pressure. For fans in Philadelphia, this felt like the payoff for years of pain. The league's scoring champ was a true center. If the body held, the path ahead pointed straight to June. For a while, it looked like nothing could slow him. January 22nd, 2024, Philadelphia versus San Antonio. From the tip, Embiid had that easy rhythm you can't fake. Inside seals for quick points, spin middle for glass, face-up jab into a clean pull, drop step for power. By halftime, he had 34. By the third, the crowd rolls on every catch like it might be the one.
Backing with the right hand, fakes, now steps to the baseline, puts it up and in.
He kept attacking inside the offense. No empty heat checks, no hunting for applause, just advantages stacked on advantages.
On a foul call, Embiid launches. Embiid knocks down the three, his first three-point attempt of the night.
When it ended, the board read 70 points and 18 rebounds. That number sits in rare company next to Kobe's 81 and Wilt's 100. The kind of nights that live in bar debates for years. What made it special wasn't only the total, it was how ordinary he made it look. Spur bids took turns, coverages changed. The results didn't. The mid-range stayed on time, the touch around the rim stayed soft, and the free throws kept the math tilted. It was a thesis in real time. When healthy, Embiid bends a game by himself. He doesn't need perfect spacing or hot shooters to mask him. He is the context. Put one defender on him, and he goes through. Send two, and he reads daylight. Change personnel, and he moves to a different answer.
It was the Sixers' second unit who really stepped up.
In a league built on guards and wings, a true center owned the night by playing to his strengths. The 70-point earthquake wasn't a gimmick. It was a window into the ceiling. For anyone still wondering if a modern big could dominate without living at the arc, the answer walked across the floor that evening and took a bath.
Rebound it goes to Tobias, who in turn goes to Joe. He's got a ceiling, flips it up backwards and in. Joel Embiid.
That game belonged to Embiid, and for a few hours, it felt like the league did too. The bench sat back smiling, knowing they were watching a peak few players ever reach in person.
It's a passionate and loud.
As brilliant as Embiid's highs were, his body kept interrupting the arc. The list is long and merciless. Foot fractures in 2014 and 2015, a meniscus tear in January 2017, a left orbital fracture in March 2018, a ring finger sprain in January 2020, a partial meniscus tear in May 2021, another orbital fracture in April 2023, a new meniscus tear in January 2024, and a nose fracture in December 2024. Then came the worst line yet, another procedure on the same left knee in March 2025, the third surgery on that joint. In 9 NBA seasons, he has missed well over 400 games and has never played more than 68 in a single season. Each return cost weeks of conditioning. Each setback took timing away. Rhythm is a fragile thing, especially for a big who lives in footwork, angles, and second jumps. Without rhythm, shots flatten, closeouts slow, and even smart positioning looks late by a half beat.
He's instant heat for this thing. And he was a late first-round pick a year ago out of BC.
The Sixers felt every absence. Lineups that made sense on paper scrambled on hardwood. Roles changed, then changed again. Coaches stitched plans together to cover the gap, but there's no substitute for your best player. Even in the MVP year, whispers followed every ankle tweak and ice wrap.
This is the first time they've all gone against each other.
Can this hold to May, and then again to June? The team needed availability as much as highlights. Titles are built on both. Fans kept asking the question with no easy answer. How long can one body carry this usage? And if he can't, can he still be the engine of a champion? The league has seen fragile dominance before, but rarely this loud or this essential to a franchise's identity.
Embiid from the wing.
Every great night renewed belief, every absence tested it. The only opponent Embiid has never solved is the calendar inside his own knee. After the MVP glow, the warning signs started early.
Embiid lets it fly. Of course! Everything going down for Embiid here in the first.
Summer 2024 in Paris, Embiid helped Team USA win gold, but the left knee looked off even from warm-ups. The NBA year opened without him. Mid-November, he gave it a go. By February, the knee flared again, and the team shut him down after just 19 games. Stack that on the 39 games from the season before, and the availability math turned harsh, roughly 35% across 2 full seasons. On paper, the personal line still read fine, 23.8 points, 8.2 rebounds. But that isn't the standard for a franchise anchor on a max deal. And the context around him made it worse.
On his way in, Embiid throws it.
Daryl Morey had gone for the big swing, luring Paul George on a $212 million 4-year deal to form a fearsome trio with Tyrese Maxey. Instead, George hurt his knee in preseason and played 41 games. With Embiid out and George in and out, the load fell to Maxey, who fought to keep the group afloat. The standings told the truth without mercy. 13th in the East, the lowest finish since 2018. Inside the room, the tone shifted. According to reports, Maxey called out punctuality and the way small habits ripple through a locker room. Nick Nurse, hired in 2023 to push the group over the top, found himself designing plans without his 2 best players for long stretches. It is hard to install a system when your stars miss 2/3 of the calendar. The hope after 2023 had been that availability would normalize and the ceiling would follow. Instead, the floor collapsed first. The lesson was as old as the league. Talent wins nothing from the training room.
He steps back and hits it! 5!
Until Embiid could get through a season upright, every plan felt like a bridge to nowhere. Patience thinned for fans, staff, everywhere. If the injuries weren't enough, the optics turned hard. After finally winning MVP in 2023, Embiid didn't get a wave of respect, he got louder criticism. Opponents called him a flopper, a foul baiter, someone who leaned on whistles more than craft.
Back for Embiid. And he's going to get the foul on O'Neal.
The reputation exploded in the 2024 playoffs against the Knicks. From the opening games, the sound in the building told the tale. At Madison Square Garden, and sometimes inside Wells Fargo Center, when rival fans packed the seats, you could hear the FMB. Then the clips started to stack. In Game 3, with the Sixers down 0-2, he got knocked down without a call and lost his cool, pulling Mitchell Robinson's leg and pushing him after he hit the floor, aggravating a bad ankle. Later, he stepped on Josh Hart's knee.
And he's still going to do things from...
Another sequence showed an elbow to Jalen Brunson's face.
Embiid's going for the ball.
Reviews, debate shows, fines, the pile grew by the hour. Afterward, he revealed he'd been dealing with Bell's palsy that started before a Miami game. Some fans understood, others called it another excuse. In Game 5, Tyrese Maxey produced a miracle, a 4-point play and a logo 3 to force overtime, with slow-mo later pointing to an uncalled travel on the 4-pointer.
Game 5, Maxey fires! He's got it!
It kept the Sixers alive for one more night. In Game 6, Embiid fouled out and New York closed the door. The result was a hard label, unbelievably talented, incredibly frustrating. He became, for many outside Philadelphia, the face of everything they disliked about modern officiating and star behavior. Fair or not, perception matters. It seeped into how people described his greatness.
Simmons to Embiid, 3-point shot in the air, it's good! Embiid with his 3rd 3, and the Sixers are blowing.
How they judged his nights, how they talked about his chances to lead a run. It is tough to win over a crowd while you're trying to hold together a knee and a season at the same time, all season. The franchise math got ugly. Between Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey, the Sixers committed nearly $600 million. The return this past season? George at 41 games, Embiid at 19, about $100 million in salary for roughly 60 combined games.
A low block, the footwork, the agility, the balance for someone that big. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that.
That ratio traps teams. It kills flexibility and forces the front office to choose between bad options. Trade talk popped up fast, but reality pushed back harder.
You're going to get to the trade deadline, and the question isn't going to be, what should the Sixers do to maybe try to upgrade this team?
Who takes a contract of $50+ million a year for a 30-something with a heavy medical file?
Joel Embiid can do it all.
The same question echoed around Embiid himself. You can sketch out buyout and stretch maneuvers. Think of cap mechanics discussed around Damian Lillard, but dead money still sits on the books and narrows future moves.
Knocks down the shot, and that's why the good ones will.
Meanwhile, the clock keeps ticking on a core built to win now.
Of having a top 6 pick than they do of making the playoffs at all. As a team, how do you respond?
They tried stabilizers. Kyle Lowry arrived to add a voice and order. Rookie Jared McCain brought energy in 23 games before injury cut him down.
Just tell me Jared McCain is expected to undergo surgery on that right thumb and be sidelined.
Even proven glue, like Georges Niang, slipped away to a rival in the squeeze. Nick Nurse kept building short-term plans to survive the next month, then the month after that.
On 1, turnaround, jump shot, he's good.
By spring, the front office pulled the lever it still owned, protect the pick. They leaned into losses to keep it and ended up with the number 3 selection.
Take a look at this, though. The Sixers, they have been one of the most disappointing teams in the league this season. These numbers, they really sum it up.
In the 2025 draft. A breath of oxygen for a group that looked out of moves. But this is the build for a decade of high-variance bets. When your top pieces are hurt, everything else costs twice. The very player meant to be the solution became the central problem, not because the skills vanished, but because the availability did.
About whether they need to tank.
That's the honest conversation that I think is.
Until that changes, the cap sheet and the standings will keep telling the same tale. Rumors swirled about moving George, but suitors hesitated at price and health risk.
Here's a nice feed by Embiid to McConnell as they reverse roles, and Joel.
Then the images changed the tone. Summer 2025, no knee brace, a leaner frame, smoother movement. In workouts, people started calling him Slim Embiid.
And that's not Joel Embiid, that's Slim Fit Joel Embiid.
For years, he hovered around 130 kilograms, big mass, big power, big wear on joints. Trimming weight is not cosmetic. It lowers load with every step and landing. Less torque in traffic. Less stress through the chain from ankle to knee to hip. Fans drew the easy comp to Luka Doncic's recent shift because it showed what conditioning tweaks can do for pace, endurance, and late game lift. The idea made sense. More mobility in space, quicker laterals on switches, better lift on the 17-footer in the fourth. If the first opponent is your own body, then this is the first counter.
To, getting back on track.
For sure we can play with them, for sure we can.
Still, the caution lights blinked. We've heard about fresh starts and perfect camps before. Too many times the season cracked open, the miles stacked up, and the same knee barked again. At 31, the window isn't closed, but it isn't wide.
So I see things differently. As an organization, you make a decision and you look at your future.
The next year has to be more than a promising month. It has to be a healthy calendar. Meanwhile, peers keep stacking proof.
Embiid runs the length of the floor and slams it.
Nikola Jokic strings full seasons and trophies. Giannis Antetokounmpo keeps dragging rosters through the East. Young bigs like Alperen Sengun shine at Eurobasket and then bring it back to the league. The top currency now is consistency. That, more than any highlight, separates a fun run from a banner.
Coming in over the shoulder to with a 3-ball by Antetokounmpo and in.
If Slim Embiid is real, not just a clip, but a shape that holds for 82 and then 2 months more, everything changes. The touches look lighter, the closeouts feel quicker.
Game plan has always been the same.
The hard fall happens less. That is the last shot a superstar earns. Take control of the controllable and let the skill do the rest. Philadelphia is ready to believe again, but needs proof daily. If Embiid is going to reclaim his place at the top,
Simmons to Embiid in a 2-hand jam, alley-oop dunk by Embiid.
The roadmap is clear and strict. First, availability. Not 20 games, not 40, at least 60 regular season games to build rhythm, stack conditioning, and earn trust in the knee. That means targeted minutes early, smart back-to-back plans, and honest communication when red flags pop. Second, survive the playoffs. Periodize the season so April isn't a cliff. Bake in deload weeks. Use travel, sleep, and nutrition as real tools, not slogans. Put hard caps on practice intensity after long flights.
Get to the moment in the game, the type of shot, real quick, turn around, cash.
I like that spot. We worked on it a lot.
Build a routine that keeps swelling from becoming a crisis.
Still one goal, it's one task at hand.
We're going to do it together.
Let's do one more time.
Third, clean the habits. Less whistle hunting, more balance. When contact comes, finish through it or find the next read. Don't let frustration spiral into plays that tilt officials or invite technicals. Let the game flow. Trust the footwork. Fourth, align the room. Medical performance and coaching have to sing the same song.
We're not going to take the BS.
Load targets, strength blocks, recovery windows, nutrition goals. Give Nurse the availability and he'll give structure. Give the staff data and they'll give plan adjustments before issues grow teeth. There's a template for late career success. Tim Duncan traded volume for timing and lifted one more title at 37. Dirk Nowitzki learned to live with pain and finally reached the top at 33. The frames are different, but the principle holds. Fix the base, then trust the craft. And if you want a current example of longevity, look at LeBron at 40, a masterclass in treating recovery like a second job. Do these things, and Embiid's skill will do the rest. Post power, mid-range touch, 34% spacing, and paint defense that still scares drivers. The window isn't gone, it just demands discipline every day. Small wins stack into months, and months stack into the only thing that matters in May. Joel Embiid stands at a crossroads. The resume is undeniable. MVP, scoring champion, 7 All-Star selections.
Will do it tonight here in
a modern center with post-power, mid-range touch, 34% from 3, and paint defense that still warps drives.
That's what we have to do.
Here's Joel with a jam, and that'll do it. Embiid, ho-ho! He does the airplane move.
But the rest of the page is messy. Injuries, optics, availability math, and a city that measures greatness by what happens after Mother's Day. Across the aisle,
Simmons to Embiid, three-point shot in the air, it's good! Embiid with his third three, and the Sixers are blowing.
Even summer runs like Eurobasket remind fans who is ready every week. For Philadelphia, every path has risk. Keep the bet on Embiid and Paul George and pray the health holds. Pivot into a rebuild and swallow the short-term pain, or try to thread the needle. Lean on the number 3 pick in 2025. Add real depth. Tune the minutes, and ride Slim Embiid as a steadier core. None of those plans work without the same headline, be available. The rest for 2025-2026 is simple to say and hard to live. Play 60 plus, finish upright, and win the minutes that decide the series. Do that, and the debate shifts back to where it belongs. Who is the most dominant scoring big of this era when healthy? Miss again, and the label hardens. Brilliant and fragile, an all-time talent who hit a ceiling he couldn't crack. Scoring dynamos can light up any night.
Spins at the foul line, fades, fires, 16-footer, it's good. Joel Embiid, down it goes for his first NBA hoop. Sergio, Joe rolls, lob play, yeah, alley-oop jam, Joel Embiid.
There to say absolutely no. Embiid says no indeed. Gets it back, another three. Oh yes!
And Joel